Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we're taking a first look at Steel Colosseum. Now you'll notice from the box that it came from Zatu, who are predominantly known in the UK, I imagine, for things like selling board games, and their YouTube channel is pretty great too. Really nice people to speak to and deal with, but they have sent us the prototype for this game because they are also the publishers. So this is a new venture not only for them but for Needy Cat Games, who are the designers of this. Now, though Needy Cat Games have done a lot in games consultation, you'll recognise them from things like Hellboy the board game, a lot of Warhammer style games that are absolutely phenomenal, and this is the first for them to put out on their own. Now, equally, you may recognise this, or importantly, you may not recognise this, as a game that was originally on Kickstarter under the name of Robot Fight Club. It has now been almost like rebranded, redone into Steel Colosseum, and with this absolutely beautiful artwork. I'm so obsessed with how funky this looks, and I keep coming back to look and see if there's more there. I don't even know how I'd describe it, maybe like quite 90s, but overall, really eye-catching. Like, this could sit on my shelf and I'd be like, yeah, that's my game. That's my game. Now, this, as I mentioned, is a prototype. It does mean we've not got things like the back of the box, and there's missing things like inserts and such, but obviously this is just to give us an idea of what the game is going to be like, as opposed to the final product that you may receive when it comes to Kickstarter. So, let's take a look inside. Okay, so, first up, instructions. Love it. Now, that continues that beautiful artwork through. Quite a lot in there, but broken up quite nicely with quite a lot of images, and I really love those images. It looks like one that's a bit like, here's how you do it, and then also when you ask the question, here's the answer to it, which is a quite nice way to do so. Nothing in here is too difficult to read, so it's quite a nice start. Now, one of the changes in it going from Robot Fight Club into Steel Colosseum is the player count, which I quite like. It has moved from a 2-player to a 2 to 4 player game, which means you can sort of tag team up. Now, this might age me somewhat, but if you've ever seen Robot Wars, that's the vibe that I get here, but like stylized, cool Robot Wars. Not that Robot Wars was never cool, but you know what I mean. Now, in terms of things that we get inside, these are cool little sheets there. We've got, again, the sort of funky graffiti style artwork that I'm mildly obsessed with, and of course, these give you your names. So this is Insectoid, which means that'll be your sort of character sheet. So the last ones of those, we have Magnetron, Shiba Zero, oh that's really cute, and a Juggernaut as well to finish things off. Now, what's exciting about those as well is that in coming back to Kickstarter, it's had more time for things like minis. These are super, super cute minis. I really, really like these. They're really detailed and quite vivid. So we've got a whole pack of these, that obviously match up to the ones that we're on. This one, by the way, reminds me of, is it Manectric in Pokemon? I don't know if anyone's gonna follow that reference, but I think so. And they just look really, really cool. They've got a lot of time taken with them. This definitely feels very Robot Wars to me. Can you imagine, like, I can't paint to save my life, but can you imagine what that would look like when it's painted? That's the kind of thing that you send it to people and be like, can you paint it for me please, because I can't, but I want it to look cool. Look at him. These are what you're going to be playing with after you've made your selection. We've got, and the last two, which I'll show you together, are those ones as well. Which is really nice to get those minis in there. I know previously they were standees, which I don't personally have an issue with, but I think it brings it up out of the table, and I think it matches the vibe of the artwork, which is very vivid and very, this is cool! Having the minis there as well does a nice job with that. Now, this should be my game board, and of course it follows that beautiful theme artwork. Here we are, so really nice colouring. We've got our sort of turn sequence on there, the little cheat sheets that we come to expect on things like this. Equally quite nicely, without being too big. This is not a table monster. It takes up a normal table, which is almost kudos considering ones that I've seen recently where I'm like, even this table isn't big enough, and that's saying something. Now, for the last bits, I figure we'll go through, we'll see what's inside. Now, something I should explain that I haven't already is what this game is. It is a sort of robot battling game, so you're going to be playing against each other to be the last robot standing. The thing is, though, is that when it calls to half-time or particular damage, you can sort of hastily add some upgrades in and see if you can then win your next bouts. There's a really interesting interview that we did with James Hewitt, the designer, that you can find in Tabletop Gaming magazine, so you should definitely go and check that out. I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and see. But these are just really nicely themed tokens. Nothing too special. I imagine they'll come on a punch board when they come to you. I get them pre-punched, which I'm almost grateful for because punching takes ages. But that is a prototype, prototype pack, I guess. Now, the last things we've got in here are cards. And I'll show you those, and then I will leave you with all of the details you need to get your hands on this too. So, card-wise, we've got, look at the colours. I just really like how nicely well that's themed. So, for example, we have a special system, Obliterator. Target an obstacle that is adjacent to this robot and remove it from the board. Harsh. So that's part of our upgrade system that I mentioned. We've got sort of more upgrades. This robot has 1 extra movement for all maneuver actions it takes. So plenty of things to sort of make things a bit more interesting. So we've got a trick card as well. Discard this card when your robot is hit by an attack to reduce the damage suffered by 2. So it's kind of everything that you want in here is in here. So I'm quite excited to get playing, to be honest. Marks, of course, for serious damage. We've got, so we mentioned Insectoid. That is a control card with a backstab option. If the attack hits the target robot's rear quadrant, it deals an additional 1 damage, lol. And just some bits and bobs and ways to play and how you play, and it looks delightful. There's a lot of thought and love that's gone into this, I feel, and although it's always sad when Kickstarters don't make it, so that initial one that came out at the very beginning of the pandemic for Robot Fight Club, I think it's almost better for this because it's come back as a really solid entry. It's like, hey, this is amazing, and it's got a lot more shelf appeal, I think, to it as well. So super exciting. Last little bits of cards are basically exactly the same, so we won't go into too much detail. It's just slightly different ones and important ones as you play through. So much of the same, just split into 2 bags because there's too little one. Now, whilst that has been an utter whistle-stop tour through Steel Colosseum, there is plenty to enjoy about it. I really, really like. You always get an impression from games doing things like these. So the first look, the first time we've opened the box and had a proper nosy inside and seen what's here and shown you what's inside the box. And the vibes are good, is how I would feel. Some of them you open and you think, oh, I don't think I'd play this game. I'd definitely give this a go. I'm quite excited for it. Now, it will be on Kickstarter shortly. I don't know the specific dates at the time of recording this, so I will pop them in the description and make sure there's a link over there as well once we've got that, just to let you know what it's like. This is something I'm excited about, so I hope that you are too. Now, as I said, there is an interview with James Hewitt in the magazine, which you can pick up. I'll pop a link to that in the description. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear if you're planning to back this, if you backed the former version of Robot Fight Club, or whether you're super excited as I am for Steel Colosseum. So let me know in the comments. Love to have a chat about games. As always, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.